stuck in the spiritual buffet line? Are you continuously taking all these different ideas and a little bite here and a little bite there and a little bite here and a little bite there and never committing to one and then seeing how that fully integrates in your life and then understanding from within how that is for you and how you incorporate it through your life? Well, welcome back to one's journey of unwinding the mind and, of course, your daily microdose. Now, tune in to the latest episode of One's Journey. Today, I want to talk about personal development. I want to talk about consumption of personal development versus integration and the healing community, world, whatever you want to talk about. We have become a society of walking personal development encyclopedias. People are consuming personal development at an astronomical rate. And what I believe we have done is we have created idols out of the consumption of personal development to the point that we can't complete our days well if we don't have our personal development time. And people are literally preaching that a good morning routine includes personal development, and that if you do not have personal development in that morning routine, then it is not good. Am I saying that you should not do personal development? Am I saying that it makes a bad morning routine? No, I am not. Personal development is very helpful to many on their journey. But the issue I see is that what we have done again is sought our happiness and peace externally. But now we're seeking it in personal development so it doesn't feel wrong. It doesn't feel like drinking or doing drugs or shopping or gambling, aka other addictions that we tend to seek our salvation through, our peace and our happiness. So instead, we have something that is meant to assist us on our journey to internal peace and happiness and operating in this illusion in a manner that is more efficient, because there's different levels of personal development. There's Atomic Habits, there's Ram Dass, there's Mel Robbins, and there's Gabby Bernstein. So there's a whole wide variety of what kind of personal development there is. But we have turned it into a necessary evil in order for us to obtain peace and happiness. And as I was saying, we have this stuff that is meant to do positive things in our journey, which is true. It can very much so speed up the process. But we have created this mentality that if you don't have that, you will not. If this, then this. Whenever we have a statement like that, it immediately gives me red flags that we've crossed that line to turning something into an idol. Recently, I was having some discussions and actually challenged someone to some time off of personal development, and they were scared to death. They were scared to death because it had become such a part of their day that they thought they needed it in order for themselves and to continue to run their business, because they had a business that they coach other people, which it also includes personal development. But if we truly are all one mind and all have access to that one mind, don't we all contain that same information within? And I'm not saying you will all get there. If we all stopped reading personal development today or consuming personal development, I'm not saying we would all come to the same conclusion. But if we took the time we spend on consuming other people's how-tos and really spent that time on focusing on hearing our own answers within, we would all be really amazing human beings. Actually, we'd be an amazing spirit here as one. My caution is that by creating personal development, which seems to be a positive thing, and turning it into an idol, it's really hard for us to see that because it is a positive thing. We feel like we should be consuming it, but what in fact it's doing is causing us to turn away from the one place the answers truly exist, and that is within. When we are consuming at astronomical rates, when are we integrating? We are not integrating at all. We are instead constantly intaking. But if you're constantly intaking and you're not integrating, then there's no point. A Chinese proverb I mentioned many times is, to know and not do is to know nothing at all. You are walking around with amazing knowledge, do not get me wrong, but you know nothing if you have never integrated that, if you've never actually utilized the information that you are intaking and integrate it into your own life. I invite you to get curious around your personal development consumption. What does that look like? Are you actually taking time to integrate? Or are you just taking different pieces from all over the dang place and more chaotic than ever? I often say when it comes to spiritual personal development, are you stuck in the spiritual buffet line? Are you continuously taking all these different ideas and a little bite here and a little bite there and a little bite here and a little bite there and never committing to one and then seeing how that fully integrates in your life and then understanding from within how that is for you and how you incorporate it through your life? Because let's be honest, yes, we are one mind, but we are projected into many different views of the hologram. That means one piece of information for me will look completely different integrated into my life than integrated into your life. It may be similar, but I promise you will have many differences. Because the way in which we observe things, the way we interact with things, all of that is different, because that's what this illusion is about. Separation. Individuals. Truly you are not. That's why we can have the same information, but how you project it out may look different. Another piece that really has brought me concern is I feel like we have turned, at least in the US, turned personal development into the age-old question that immediately establishes hierarchy within someone's mind. And that usually is when you go and meet people, one of the first questions you're usually ever asked is, what do you do? And when you are asked, what do you do, subconsciously or consciously, what that answer provides that person is an immediate understanding of your knowledge, not knowledge, but your knowingness. Where are you in the education scale? And your status, your class. Are you blue collar? Are you white collar? Where do you fit in? What kind of money do you bring in? Anything like that. That is usually one of the first questions you will be asked here. Yes, there is a movement, but that's where I'm going to cover. One of the movements now is a spiritual question or a personal development question. And I've been guilty of this and still am sometimes too. But what we're doing is we are immediately placing you in a hierarchy of personal development and spiritual development. Like, where are you on a land? One question. Oh, have you ever been to a retreat? And then if you're like, yeah. Oh, how many retreats have you been to? What kind of retreats have you been to? Another question is, have you ever done ayahuasca? And if you haven't done ayahuasca, then there's immediate judgment that you've not gone deep enough. That this person who has done ayahuasca has gone way deeper than you ever have. But the reality is, these are just tools. Someone can literally sit in a room and decide at the level of the mind that they want something, and they can go deeper than any tool will ever bring you. That's the beauty of it. When we're sitting here and we're placing a level of hierarchy and we're deciding where you are at spiritually based on different questions. And another piece is to, all of a sudden we have decided, again, I'm guilty of this, I thought this, that spirituality is tied to physically looking fit and healthy. It's not. Yes, it can be an outcome. It has been an outcome for me, but it is not a predictor. And we have turned it into a predictor that if someone is fit, they must be spiritual. But that's not true. There is a lot of fit people out there that are very stuck in a place of fear and actually use exercise and eating healthy as an addiction. But somehow that's another predictor of the spiritual community, right? Do you meditate? Do you do yoga? There's like this whole plethora of questions we've now come up with that rank you on the personal development scale. And again, guilty as charged right here. But we're turning personal development into a way of judgment, putting you on a scale of where are you at on the journey, when guess what? The journey, it is not my job to decide where you are at on your journey. Only you. That is between you and the Holy Spirit. That is it. Bottom line. It has nothing to do with me and what I believe, because my perception is jacked, right? My perception is jacked. Let's own it. Your perception is jacked. My perception is jacked. That's why we're here in this illusion trying to get the F out. We're trying to turn our perception back to where truth is. But in the meantime, let's be honest, our perception is jacked. Again, I'm here to just bring some light on this situation of how is personal development in your life right now? Is it showing up as an idol, or are you using it as the walking stick? Is it a crutch or a walking stick? Those are the terms we tend to use in your journey right now. And then, are you judging? I'm guilty, again, owning up. Are you judging where others are at in their spiritual journey? And if you consciously do not believe you are you asking questions that would insinuate at a subconscious level you are seeking that information without kind of like tricking yourself? Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Just kidding. Thanks for coming today to this video about personal development, consumption, integration, the hierarchy, our judgment, whatever may be. But I truly believe as we're on this journey, so easily we can get sucked back into the areas that we never could imagine would suck us in. To be honest with you, I never thought personal development could be a place that I could do too much of it, or that I could turn it into an idol, because it's teaching me not to have idols. Well, by golly, why would that be? But in fact, I found it has. So bottom line is, it has, and it can for you too, but you have the option. Keep it in check. Keep it as the walking stick it's meant to be. And always remember you have the answers within. And always remember someone else's spiritual journey is not up to you to place on a hierarchy or to decide if it's bad or good. Just like it's not up to them to decide where you're at on your journey. As always, thank you so much for being a part of the Be Me community. Hop on the Discord. I would love to hear about your thoughts on this topic, where you see it show up in your own life, any aha moments you had. But until then, as always, remember you are worth it, and we love you tons here at the Big Miracle Energy community.